a website called All About the Tea.
She told All About the Tea that during the fight,
Hey everyone. Why don't we, I think it's only appropriate that we start this live the right way, okay?
I was born ready, but I'm never done. Try on 10 looks just to find the right one. Melanin pop bright like the sun. Sun kissed and you wish to compare, hun. Be careful what you wish, don't you dare, hun. Tried to warn you, see the message wasn't clear, hun. I am a woman of my word, cause I'm fair, hun. Give you what you asked for, cause I care, hun. Now you feel me, now you see me. Exaggerate the eyes, feeling really pretty. Jeff on the beat, sipping, so I'm litty. Call my crew, tell them meet me if you ain't busy. Now they tripping, but they will miss me. Diamond stripping, nails done, looking real busy. Long legs, long hair, looking real pretty. We at the spot, now it's time to get real tipsy. I came to work, I came to stay. Countdown to the beat, true queens don't play.
Did that wake everybody up? Are we in the mood?
Yes, honey.
Oh my goodness, that's my jam. Okay.
So good.
That's why I was late. I was watching the video.
Girl.
Oh, the video was so good.
Yeah,
the video is fire. Okay. Hey, teacups. Welcome back. Welcome back to the All About the Tea channel. I'm your girl, Monica, along with my fabulous co-host, tax expert, and former Married to Medicine star, Buffie Purselle. YouTube extraordinaire and the man with the master plan that gets the party started, Mr. DJ Richie Sky. Dating expert and author, Monique Kelly. Hi, Monique.
Hey,
red lips popping.
That black is good on you, girl. TikTok sensation, Amir. Yes, welcome, Amir.
Hi.
Oh my God, I miss y'all so much. Oh,
I miss you guys too.
Yep. So today we are recapping The Real Housewives of Potomac Season 5 Reunion Part 3. The men join the stage, and Chris Samuels wants Gisele to take accountability for the plot against his family. Yeah. Candace plays the victim, and Gisele denies everything. Let's get into it, okay? All right, guys. So, teacups and panelists, we're going to do things a little different today.
Oh.
In light of some breaking news last night after part 3 of the reunion aired, Monique Samuels took to her Instagram and announced she was done with the show, and social media erupted. Yeah, she dropped a video on her Instagram, and I'm going to go ahead and play a snippet of that video.
Yes! Yes!
Oh yeah, but you know, it was a crazy ride. It's not easy doing reality TV, and to be quite honest, y'all, I'm over it. So I appreciate everything that people have done for me, everybody that's been Team Monique. I love y'all. I thank y'all. But when you cross certain lines, there's no going back. And for me, my family is that line. And the opinion of my family and my kids and what they think about anything that I do is more valuable to me than anybody's opinion. So I'm over it. So love y'all too. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I thought you were going to play drag queen's video, not this video. This video is devastating. I thought you were going to play drag queens.
Yeah, devastating. So in light of
I was like, Monique, you're celebrating too much.
No, I was like, no, not this. I thought it was drag queens. I'm devastated right now. I'm devastated.
I'm proud of her.
You are, Monica.
I think she made the right decision.
Yeah, me too. I'm proud of her. Pure class.
I think she made the right decision. It's just I'm going to miss her, and a part of me is like, oh, I wanted her to come back. I felt it was messed up. She didn't get to show her oils, the making of her video. Like, they did her so dirty, and I understand why she did it. I'm just sad, man. I'm just sad.
Yeah. So in light of Monique's announcement, I thought it would be prudent of me to have a special guest join us today. Today's guest is a wife, mother, best friend, MVP of the Housewives franchise, entrepreneur, and rapper extraordinaire, Monique Samuels.
Hey, sis. What's up? Wait, so why am I'm like never nervous when I do interviews, and I'm like sitting back here like really nervous. I love watching y'all, so I'm so excited to be here. Monica, Buffy, Richie, Amir, Monique, my name twin. Hey girl, hey.
So happy to have you. This was like a big surprise. I didn't tell anyone.
I know.
I didn't say a word. Everyone's genuinely surprised.
Why can't I see anybody?
Because I have you a solo layout because you are.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. Like seriously, y'all have been so supportive. I appreciate everything. So I'm just excited. I feel like a ton of bricks have been lifted from me. I'm very happy with my decision, and I'm just excited about the future.
And welcome, Monique. I mean, teacups, y'all give Monique a great big welcome. All I want to see in the chat are hearts and clapping hands.
Thank you. That's it. She came to work.
I want to see.
I'm so excited that video.
I know, we're gonna have a real talk.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the bottom of some things. All right, Monique, in your Instagram live Sunday night, you stated it's not easy doing reality TV, and to be quite honest, I'm over it. Can you clarify your statement? What does that mean exactly?
I'm over the fakery. I'm over the real hate that's been happening behind the scenes and just being treated unfairly. Why is it that every season I'm looked at to be the one who has to be accountable, but then when I'm expecting to receive some accountability in my direction for things that have been done to me, it's like crickets. Nobody cares. Nobody is enforcing anything. You know, I'm getting phone call after phone call. Like, I have to be the person that brings the whole group together and makes it whole, as if I'm the one causing so much when I'm just responding to whatever was brought at me. You know, right. So the incident between Candace and I was definitely one that I had to take full ownership of and accountability for my part in it. I had no problem doing that, but it took me the time and the space to process everything that went down. And I was never given that time. I went from the fight. The next night I had an event at DSW with Robin. I went right back to mommy mode. I had family in town. My husband was being inducted into the Redskins, the Washington team, their Ring of Fame. So we had 20 people staying at our house from Friday until Monday. Wow. That Monday I had the Bravo photo shoot with all the cast. Ooh. And that Tuesday is when I was in Karen's living room explaining to the ladies that I was sorry that they were put in harm's way. I never was able to fully process it. And for people to think that, well, you should have shown remorse right away. Well, you're not in my shoes and you don't know anything about what I've been through and what my mindset was at the time. So give me that courtesy to process things. It took Candace over a year to apologize to Ashley for the things that she did to Ashley and Michael. And even then, that was still like squeezing out an apology. So why is it that that person can have all the time in the world, but then when it comes to me, I'm supposed to just start pleading and crying and begging for forgiveness right away when I fully hadn't processed everything that went down.
I agree with you. So for clarification, are you stepping away from the Real Housewives of Potomac? Have you resigned from the show?
I am stepping away. I sent an email asking to be released from my contract right after the conclusion of the reunion last night. I was very disappointed because the one thing that I expected was for me and my family to have vindication. When it came to the fight, we were sort of vindicated after episode 2 of the reunion, which is great because I had been saying the same story from day one. And to actually have production back me in what I was saying transpired as far as I perceived it was great. But the other thing was my family dynamic. That was something that I've always said during this show. My family is off limits. My marriage is off limits. People can start rumors. That's fine. But when you cross the line of involving innocent children, that's when I have a problem. So after the reunion and I watched the episode and I saw that they played me and my husband's response in our live video, but they did not play what prompted that live video. I was very disappointed. I mean, it was like I was furious. I was very upset because I said, how is it that when other people need to be accountable for their actions, we just gloss over it? We give them a pass. But I'm supposed to be the person to take on all the heat, which I did. I said at that reunion and I took all of it. I responded when I needed to. I was cut off. I was being verbally attacked on the low by people. And I still sat there and I took it. And when I expected for other people to sit there and take what they did, they get a pass. They get to skate on by and we're just going to look the other way. And we're going to paint a picture as if my husband and I are that pressed for story that we would introduce our child purposely for TV. Like, come on, let's be real. We had no problem when Gisele went to her confessionals and did all her little talking about the whole trainer rumor. I was actually relieved. I was relieved because she didn't mention my child. So I said, okay, we can ride with this little rumor. If that's what they want to do, I'm fine with it. I know who I am. My husband knows who I am, and we stand in our truth, and that's fine. Then Candace goes live. For what reason, I have no idea. And I was going to ignore it. But when people kept messaging me over and over again saying, hey, why is Candace talking about your child? I'm like, wait, what? And then it became more and more messages. I mean, people are DMing me on Twitter and on Instagram, sending me emails. I looked at my husband. I said, we got to respond to this. I even sent production a message and said, listen, watch this video. And when I go off tonight, you'll know why. And when me and my husband addressed it, now it's an issue because we addressed and defended our family and our child. Now it's an issue. So I expected that would be played out and done right at the reunion. And when that did not happen, it put a very sour taste in my mouth. And I'm not going to sit around for another season hoping that we'll receive an apology from somebody, hoping that they'll make the situation right. I'm not willing to do it. My family's worth more to me than that. And honestly, my family comes first. Like, there's no amount of money in this world that will have me put my kids in a position where they can look at me 10 years from now and say, Mom, why did you go back after what they did to you and Dad and to Chase? Why would you go back to that? How could you be around these women? You think the women ever coming back up in my house? None of them ever coming back in any of my homes. My children will never be on this show. My parent, he's fine. He'll be on my shoulder perched somewhere. But at the end of the day, how do you come back from that when real life hate has now been brought to the forefront of what's really been going on behind the scenes with this show? For 2 years, I had to put a smile on my face. I had to welcome these women in my home for the sake of the show. Nobody is more team RHOP than me. Right. I did what I had to do for the sake of the show. And that was not easy, but I still did it, knowing that I had these women in my house, knowing what half of them were doing behind the scenes. And I still put a smile on my face. I still was cordial, so long as they don't talk about my family. But at some point, you just say enough is enough, and enough is enough.
You have to stand in your truth, Monique, and I applaud you for having principles, having morals, integrity, and standing up and saying, y'all crossed the line. My family is off limits. A lot of these reality stars can't do the same. So there you have it, folks. It's official. Monique has resigned from The Real Housewives of Potomac. I want to address something because there's been a lot of rumors that you were not asked back. You didn't receive a contract, or I've also heard that you were asked back, but you got a friend of role. Can you clarify that?
Yeah, so it doesn't really happen like that. A lot of times when people do get demoted to a friend, sometimes that happens while you're already filming the season. So what happens is you have an exercise in your contract that says that I can move forward with what was stated previously, and it's called an offer. And I definitely received an offer along with a phone call. And I was actually excited to be back and to know that, okay, this time I'm going to redeem myself. I'm going to show my growth. But when I saw episode 3 of the reunion, I said, you know what? Can't do this anymore. But in the type of person I am, if I were to be fired, I would have no problem sitting here and saying, hey, yes, I was let go. But that's not what happened. And I had to make the choice. And honestly, it probably would have been a little easier had they fired me versus me actually just sitting down and being real and saying, you know what, I have to walk away. So it would have just been a lot easier because I do feel some part of me let a lot of my fans down who have been rooting for me. Everybody that's been hashtagging Team Monique, I stand with Monique. And I really didn't want to let those people down. And honestly, sometimes when the seasons were getting rough, that's what kept me going. But I had to get to that point and I was just like, I hope I don't disappoint anybody, but I have to do what's best for my family. And more importantly, I can't disappoint my kids. When my son woke up this morning, he's my 7-year-old and he is so smart, and we don't let him watch the show, but he listens to conversations and he puts things together. And he woke up this morning and I said, guess what? He said, what? I said, mommy's quitting the show. He said, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Out of the mouths of babes. So he was feeling the pressure, the tension, the stress too. You know, you bring it all home. Monique.
Yeah. He actually told me when we were on our vacation a few months ago in Aruba, he actually came up and told me while we sat at that table, and I actually have it on video. And he said, I mean, mommy, why would you go back? For a 7-year-old to ask me that? He said, why would you go back? And I was like, well, what would you think of me if I went back? He said, well, I don't think I would respect that decision. My 7-year-old said that to me. And he said, and I said, well, why do you say that? He said, well, why don't they just tell the truth? Why are they trying to make you look like you're a bad person? I want them to know the mom that I know. My 7-year-old said this. So you have to listen to your kids. They have a voice. I always say it. Kids are people. You know, you have to listen to what they're saying. And I'm not going to have my child grow up and feel like I chose a show over his safety or over just integrity, you know?
Monique, I applaud you, for doing that and putting your family first. And like I said, a lot of reality stars get stuck on these shows and they forget about the family and all that other stuff goes in the back burner and they make the show number one. So I applaud you for this tough. And I know it was not an easy decision.
It's not. I mean, it's been fun to have this platform, to go from Chris Samuel's wife, for him to be called Monique Samuel's husband. I've been in the shadows of my husband for years. We've been together over 14 years. He was an NFL player. He was very well known. And to have that role reversal where I was the one supporting him and then the roles change and now he's pushing and supporting me. I mean, it's been nice. And to be able to use this as a platform to reach so many people. Do y'all hear T'Challa?
Yeah,
we do. We love him.
I love it. I think that's the only way he's going to stop.
He's happy
over here. Bring
him over.
He needs to make an appearance. Yes.
I'll let him come over. So going to being able to have this platform and already having like my business, like Not for Lazy Moms was a Facebook page before I joined the show. So to be able to take that to where it is now, it's now, I have a YouTube channel, I have a podcast, my website is doing great. The community is amazing. We're creating these partnerships with other small businesses and it's been amazing. And now that I have Mila Eve Essentials, people have heard me talk about essential oils since I've been on the show. And to now have my own essential oils line, it's been incredible. He's on my green light, really, T'Challa.
Congratulations on all your accomplishments. The Not for Lazy Moms podcast has taken off. It's incredible. Amelia Eve Essential Oil Line, amazing. Okay. I mean, you haven't even dropped it officially yet, right? It's in pre-order and the sales are out of control.
Out of control. I was actually nervous to leave. I'm in Florida visiting my mom. And I was like, when I get back, I'm going to have so many orders to fulfill. And I just keep looking at my Shopify account. I'm just like, wow, it's insane. I'm getting like over 100 orders a day. And it's been amazing. And I was actually looking forward to showing that journey on the show. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be able to talk about Mila Eve. You know, so I had a lot of things that I really wanted to showcase going forward. But it just gets to a point where you just have to realize, like, this is probably when I need to take my exit. You know, this is probably the best for me and my family. And honestly, maybe it will be the best for the ladies of the show.
But it's not going to be the best for the fans. You are a fan favorite. People ride so hard for you because you're genuine, you're kind, and you're relatable. You're the type of housewife most of the audience can relate to. So, I mean, but you got to do what you got to do for yourself and your family. We understand, and we'll still support you. We're still behind you. You know, you have an overwhelmingly large group of fans out there, and they ride hard for you, Monique. They don't play. They don't play. So, folks, just to clarify, Monique was not fired. She received a contract. She signed the contract. But after watching part 2 and 3, I think, of the reunion and seeing how she was edited and they left out Candace's plot, the video, which they had in their possession, they all knew about it, but producers just left that part out. They didn't include it, drove Monique's decision to leave the show. So Monique, I heard about an incident that occurred before the reunion filmed regarding a mix-up of hotels. You and your team were booked in different hotels. What? Than your co-stars. Please walk us through that experience.
Yes, I texted you the video, so hopefully you have it. But I had to document that moment while I was feeling the outrage. We get to, you know, we're arriving in New Jersey, and me and my glam team, we spent hours in the car with my parrot, and my husband, and you know, my hairstylist and my makeup artist. And we get to the hotel, and not that it was a bad hotel, it was just like, this isn't usually the type of hotel that Bravo would have us stay at, or you know, the production would have us stay at. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. So we check in, and I'm just like, okay, it's very quiet in here. It's kind of empty, and we go up to our room. Kind of smells a little bit, so I pull out my diffuser, got my little Mila Eve essential oils, getting it smelling good. And we're getting settled. And I'm just looking at my husband like, this is odd. Something just felt off. So Karen calls me and she said, are you here yet? I said, yes. What room are you in? I said, I'm in 815. She said, all right, I'm coming down. She comes down. She's knocking on the door. She calls me. Why aren't you answering? I'm like, you're not at my room. I'm like, hold on, let me see. I go out into the hall. I'm like, I don't see you. She said, Monique, what hotel are you at? I was like, wait, what? She said, you're at the wrong hotel. I said, wait, no, it's always been this hotel from the very first confirmation I got. I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, no, we're at another hotel. This is where we're going to be filming the reunion and everything. I'm like, wait, what? I was completely blown, baffled. I felt disrespected. I felt like, wow, I was at a loss for words. So long story short, we checked out. I went and bought 3 rooms at the right hotel. And I thank God, because even in all of this, had I found out the next day, if Karen and I have not had a genuine friendship and that genuine desire to just want to see each other and say hi, I would not have known until the day of at 5 a.m. Imagine me thinking I'm going downstairs and I'm finding out that no, you have to go to a whole nother hotel, this, that, and the other. And I was just like blown. My glam was pissed. We had to repack all of our things and pack up, and I'm spending more money to buy more rooms, and you know, couldn't get our money back because we already checked into the hotel, and it was just craziness. So I just go back to just like, thank God that we found out that night and we were able to sit down, have a glass of wine, regroup, and get ready for the next day. We would have been thrown off our game mentally, emotionally, and physically had that all happened the same day where we're supposed to be preparing for the reunion. On top of the fact that I definitely would have been late, you know. So it was just like, I don't know what that was about, but it was jacked up. And when I tell y'all, I take hits under the chin from left and right, and I just smile and keep it chucking, you know, and I just do what I have to do. I try to be as professional as possible. And it didn't move me because I was able to show up with my binder and I got the job done.
You looked flawless. I mean, I couldn't tell that there was anything going on. I want to go ahead and play that video of you in the hotel, just to give people an understanding of what you were going through.
I just need to document this right now. Right now, I'm at a hotel that is not the hotel where we're supposed to be filming the reunion and where all the other ladies are staying. I was not given knowledge that I was not staying at the same hotel as everyone else. I had myself, my glam all checked in here. And then I was told that, oh no, because of T'Challa, he can't spend the night, all these other things. And I'm at a different hotel. Interesting. So what I'm doing is checking myself out of here. I just purchased 3 rooms with my own money. And I'm going to be staying at the hotel because I will not be iced out anymore. This is ridiculous. I'm pissed off, but I'm not going to let it bother me right now because I have a reunion to perform at tomorrow. And my glam needs to also perform and bring it. So we're leaving, and we're going to go to the correct hotel.
Wow. Wow. Co-host, do you want to chime in on this video?
Yes. We do.
Buffy?
What the hell? And I mean, I've only been at one, but I mean, yeah, everybody stays the same place. And that would have totally thrown you off your game. That's, you know, and not to mention it makes you feel like an outcast from the jump. It's just dirty and unnecessary. Like, what you gonna do? Go find something? Like, there's no reason. And like, the hotel wasn't even sold out. You were able to get 3 rooms. So there's no excuse for that at all.
My bird was able to stay at the hotel. It was all kind of excuses being thrown my way as to why. And I was just like, no, but I never knew of the hotel from the start. And they didn't, nobody knew that I was bringing T'Challa until after everything was booked. You know, so I was just like, something's up. And then the next day, now think of this, the next day, we're actually on set of the reunion, and I see this man lurking on our set. I'm like, what? And I'm like, come on. So he's supposed to be security because of my husband. So y'all gonna paint this picture like me and my husband are violent to the point where we can't stay at the same hotel as everyone else? Really? Is that what we're doing? And then y'all have the live ready. You got the live, you got the verbatim words that my husband said. You got all of that ready. Is this scripted TV? What the heck is this? So I'm just sitting there baffled, like, wow, my husband is an NFL player. He played in the league for 10 years. He's never had a scandal. He's never got in trouble. He has a very squeaky clean image. People who know him, he is the happiest, laid back dude you will ever meet. He rarely raises his voice.
Right.
And you would try to paint that picture of my husband?
Wow.
Wow. You would try to destroy his character. For what? For a moment at the reunion.
Destroying a Black man's character, especially right now with the climate of the world. And you're going to do that right now? Unjustly?
Yeah, it's the narrative they like. They don't like a happy, healthy, successful, affluent Black family. They don't want to show that. But we want to see it.
They don't. I was told, and this is probably when I should have exited. About 2 seasons ago, I was told that my husband and I are too perfect on TV. And I said, wait, what? Girl. I said, do y'all say that to Lisa Vanderpump and Ken or Kyla Mauricio or any of those other housewife shows who have nice marriages on the outside? Do y'all say that to any of them? Why is it that me and my husband look too perfect when we're being completely 100% real? And I'm not going to make up drama so that we can have some salacious storyline for y'all. It's not going to happen. My husband, my marriage, my kids are off limits. Yeah. We can talk about anything else you want to talk about, but that's off limits.
That should have been your cue to exit at that point, because if these producers can't accept a happy, healthy Black family on TV, then it's time to go. Time to create your own show.
Right. And I'm not going to say that it's the producers, the production or network, but collectively with the women and everything else, who knows what they have been complaining about to them? Who knows what stories that they have been giving them? And they're thinking that, oh, we're trying to get Monique and Chris to open up and be more vulnerable on camera. So you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But what I do know is there are Black families out here that are happy, that are successful, that know how to treat people, that know how to talk to people, that know how to stay out of mess. It's not something that's foreign.
Who pay their taxes?
Who have investment portfolios? Who know how to save their money and invest it properly while they're so that when they retire, they have something and they can keep living without downsizing. It's called upgrading.
Yes,
absolutely. Over your coin.
That's what it is.
Monique, I want to ask you a question. I know that you're not throwing anyone under the bus, Bravo, etc. But you know, Nene Leakes and Mariah Huq have been very outspoken, and they're doing the kind of boycott Bravo. Have you talked to either of them now that you've exited?
I talk to Nene. I talk to Nene often. I wish Nene my best. I love her. She's a great person. You know, and I feel, and I've always felt what she was going through, because what people don't understand is there's so many things behind the scenes that are at play, and we have to suck up a lot in order to get on camera and do what we do. We are supposed to be in a sisterhood circle. There always can't be all of the fussing and fighting and the arguing. Sometimes you just need to get along. But when you know what's going on behind the scenes, sometimes it's not easy for all of us to ignore that and keep pushing forward. So what ends up happening is you show up to film and the viewers are watching you and they're looking at you like, why is she got an attitude? Why is she upset with her? Why is she acting petty? Or why is she this and why is she that? She ain't giving that person a chance. But they don't know that she just is not able to turn off like some other people can turn off, because they're so pissed about what's really going on behind the scenes that's not being discussed. And not everything that is filmed makes it to camera. So you might have an argument with somebody and all they're seeing is your reaction of the argument. They didn't see what was filmed the day before and why you upset. They only see what's happening in front, what's being shown. So I totally empathize and I totally understand where Nene's coming from. And for her to be on this platform and for her to be who she is, I was watching last year and I saw less and less. And I'm like, wait, I know she was filming the whole time. Where her scenes at? Why are these episodes going by? Where is Nene? And I'm looking and I'm thinking the same thing about myself. I was in 16 out of the 19 episodes. I still filmed. I was still working. I did not get paid for 3 episodes. That's a lot. You know, that's money that I'm investing into my businesses that I thought was coming. I have employees to pay. I have overhead. And I'm like, wait, hold up. I just found out that I'm not getting paid for 3 episodes. Wait, we filmed this a year ago. And I'm watching the season. And then I get noticed that I'm not getting paid for 3 episodes. I didn't know I wasn't going to be in 3 episodes. I was still filming. So I get it.
Wow.
Monique, I want to talk about part 1 of the reunion where you and your binder stole the show. Okay.
Yeah.
Just for clarification purposes, okay, let's go back. Let's go back to part 1 of the reunion where your binder made its debut and wowed everyone. Can you give us the backstory on the binder and maybe even drop 1 or 2 unpublished secret gems from the binder?
Yes. Okay. So the binder, first of all, let me just say this. I'm a very organized person. I keep every receipt. That's why we are able to pay our taxes and pay them properly. When if you were to come in my home and look in my office, there's an electronic copy of everything, but I have a physical copy. I love a binder. I have a binder for every house, for every project, for all of us have binders in the house. Chris got a whole binder. I got a binder, you know? So that wasn't something foreign for me to do, was to be able to take these tabs and make a binder with all the information that I need. And I was able to do that because I knew. I remember watching Funky Dineva. He made such a good point, and I love when he said it. He said that in reality TV, it's not about truth, it's about perception. But I knew in this moment, I needed to bring some truth so that it can be perceived the proper way. And I did not want anybody thinking that I was coming with some he say, she say, or anything else. I said, if I'm going to say it, I don't spread rumors, I spread facts. So if I'm going to go spread these facts, I need to back up everything I'm saying. I can give you some tea from my binder that was not shown, which was my own tea. And I'll put it to you like this. I had doctor's notes. I've had screenshots and everything from the former friend who started all of the nasty rumors, which were not rumors in Potomac. They were rumors in production circle. The women in production, they were strategically pointed at them. This wasn't something that people were walking down the street talking about. So I don't want people to think that. But in that binder, I showed proof as to why these rumors were able to be started and what was actually going on. So when I stopped working out with my trainer, which me and my husband both trained at the same time, he had his trainer, I had my trainer. I had to stop working out because we found out that we were pregnant. Me and my husband actually pulled my trainer to the side and we said, listen, we aren't telling anybody because we just found out, but we're pregnant. And we just want to make sure whatever workouts we're doing won't harm the pregnancy. We wanted to know, had he ever worked out anyone pregnant before? And he said, yes, I have. I know all the protocol, no problem. So we said, can you please keep this between us because of, you know, the reality TV stuff and people know who we are. We don't want anybody to know we're pregnant because we've had miscarriages before. So, and I say miscarriages. I had one that was exposed on the TV on the show. Season 2, my very first reunion. What people don't know is I miscarried a few days before I sat on that couch.
Oh my God.
How difficult was that? I was supposed to come and give all of this joyful news to the ladies while we filmed and let them know that Chris and I were expecting. But instead, I'm sitting there like, wow, I experienced a miscarriage. So that was difficult in itself. Now, fast forward, after that, it took us months to conceive and actually hold on to the baby. We kept having what they call a chemical pregnancy. So we were not able to have hold the baby. After 6 weeks, it was just like, and it happened around so it was very difficult for us. So now that we fast forward, the reason we got trainers and we started doing our whole detox was so that we can get healthy and make sure that we're both healthy to conceive. So that's what we did. So the day that was my last day working out, we went to get an ultrasound. In that ultrasound, we discovered I was 8 weeks pregnant and that the baby was perfect, healthy, bouncing around, moving, heart rate was great. They did another examination and found out that my placenta was tearing from my uterine wall. With that, it's subchorionic hemorrhage. So what that means that if that placenta tears away, whether that baby's healthy or not, we were going to lose the pregnancy. From that point, my doctor put me on bed rest and said, I don't want you doing anything, lifting anything. He said, Chris, no sex. You're going to have to wait on her hand and foot. She needs to lay horizontal and be that way until this heals up. And it took 3 visits. So that's 6 weeks that went by for it to somewhat heal. And then after that, my doctor would not clear me to go back to the gym even further. So that was why the friend made up the whole, oh, she's pregnant and it's by the trainer because she hasn't been back at the gym. So people don't know what's going on behind the scenes when they start making up these nasty lies and then they're trying to do it for a show. It's just pathetic. And it actually brought up old feelings and emotions because of all of the trauma that me and my husband went through, dealing with a miscarriage and then not being able to get pregnant and hold on to a baby for so long, then having a difficult pregnancy, almost losing the baby. And thank God my baby was born. healthy. He had a hernia, but he was healthy, and he's still running around here just as loud as he want to be. But he got ready to move forward. In that binder, I had all of the doctor's notes with the dates, with the description of what was going on with me, and the reason why I had to stop working out, and a lot of other receipts in there as well.
Praise God. You know, listen, don't mess with God's children.
No,
don't do it.
Don't.
Do not do it. Thank God he was born. He's healthy. Look at him. He's like a big, bubbly little boy.
He is so
cute and sweet and looks just like his daddy. That's right. Just like his daddy. You explained on part 2 that Gisele brought the paternity lie to TV. She denied it. And Andy Cohen minimized the plot because the word plot, quote unquote, was not mentioned on TV. But Candace did expose the plot when she went on IG Live in August. We all saw the video. I just want to go ahead and play that video again, just to remind some folks of exactly what we all saw. Production saw it. I'm pretty sure Andy Cohen saw it because he was tagged in a lot of those posts back then. I'm going to go ahead and play it real quick.
We plotted against her and Andy's baby. Is that what she said? So, exclusive, extra. Read all about it. Leave my filter on because it's going to be on the blog so I look cute. Okay, this is new information. Monique claims y'all plotted against her at Andy's baby shower. So, there was a conversation about Monique not at the shower, but after the shower. We were eating somewhere. And there were a couple of people there with me. Several people there with me. And there was a conversation about someone plotting to spread a rumor that Chase was not Chris's baby. That conversation happened. I was there for it. I never contributed to the plotation of the conversation. Ever. As a matter of fact, I said that would never fly and it should be dropped. I know that I also said that Monique talks a lot, and Robin was there. Robin said to me, oh, you talking about your friend? I was like, yes, but she's not here to defend herself, so let's not talk about her. And there were other things said, other kind of plotty things that were said. And I also want to say that I told Monique what was said at that dinner. But I was never a part of any plot there or anywhere else. You can hit me with any other scenarios and I will tell you what happened. I was never a part of any plot to plot against Monique. Like, it's just the narcissism. Why do you think everybody's trying to plot against you? You are not.
All right. Yeah.
She's so ignorant.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You gotta laugh. Now, did she ever come to you directly after that dinner, after Andy's baby shower, and say, Monique, here's what was said, here's what they're plotting to do?
No. She went and told Karen. So Karen calls me and she's just casually talking like, I cannot believe Gisele. I can't believe that she would come after an innocent child. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she said, you know what they were talking about after Andy's baby shower. And I was like, who were talking about? What are you talking about? She said, wait, Candace didn't tell you? I'm like, Candace didn't tell me what? And she's like, oh my God. She's like, okay, let me start from the beginning. Karen told me everything. At that time, I had not talked to Candace. This is when season 4 was airing. So Candace and I were kind of beefing because of the whole Amistad comment. And she started talking crazy on Twitter. So me and her weren't communicating. At the time that I finally did talk to Candace, it was after reunion when we hugged it out. She came over to my house the weekend before we started filming season 5. And that's when I brought it up. And I said, what happened and how did you contribute to the conversation? Now, at that point, I had already heard from other people who were at the dinner that Candace was cheerleading the conversation along as well. So while she may have been the one to speak up and say, well, no, that won't fly because the baby looks just like Chris, you were still cheerleading other things. And that's probably why Robin said, are you talking about your friend? And then she says, oh, well, Monique's not here to defend herself. But the point is, she never came back and said, like, girl, can you believe what they're trying to do? She never said any of that. So at the point where me and her talked, she only told me portions of the conversation. And then once we started filming season 5, when we sat down and had lunch, she started telling on herself. So now I'm there and I'm just like, wait, but you didn't say that when you were just at my house a few days ago. So I started really paying attention then. She had already burnt me the year before. Like I said, things go behind the scenes. Candace and I never talked every day. Let's just get that clear. We were like, I looked at her like I wanted to give her everything that I learned from the moment I had been on the show. I want to see her win just like I want to see everybody else win. But Candace did not reciprocate the relationship that I gave her. Yeah. She was on the receiving end. So if contract time is coming around, I'm like, girl, get your coin. Here's what I did. Or if like so-and-so said this or whatever in this scene, you better watch yourself. But when it came to me, she never gave me the heads up. She never would come to me and say, hey, this is what I heard. This is what's going on. She never did that for me. Even when Ashley, season 4, Ashley is in my pool when I did the maternity shoot. And Ashley's like, yeah, Candace said something about you saying Katie looked like Amistad. I'm like, wait, what? And I'm just like, if Candace had a conversation with Gisele about this, why didn't she call and tell me anyway? So it was like that type of stuff that was going on. So now fast forward, it's a year later and you're doing the same things. So then take that and add more fuel to the fire. Now, we have our very first all cats. It's her anniversary party. And I had no idea that her and Sharice were friends. And it's not that Sharice triggers me. I've been around Sharice and I've been fine. I just like to know what I'm walking into. Right. And the fact that everyone knew Sharice was trying to get back on the show and use me as a tool to do it. That is what the issue was. But of course, you can't say that. You know, you have to say, oh, she just doesn't want to be in the room with Sharice. She's running away from Sharice. No, it's not the point. You're not going to use me and my family to get back on the show. If you want to earn your food back, earn it on your own. Okay, on your own account, not on me. So I was like, I'm not engaging with her. I'm not doing it on camera or off camera. I'm not giving you that. You earn your way back. And that's what it is. I'm done with you. And I know what you did, but I'm able to just like move forward. So at the point that happens, and then I'm sitting in scene that I was reluctant to be in with Gisele, and she's telling me that you were the one that invited her. I'm just like, wait, what? Why didn't I get a heads up? And I'm always giving out heads ups to people. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. You know, so.
Now, a week or sometime prior to Candace's anniversary party, didn't she and Chris come to your home and y'all sat down and you made amends again and everything was good? And she never mentioned Sharice would be showing up at her anniversary party, did she?
No, she didn't. That was the time where I finally confronted her about the Andy baby shower situation. And then she told me that, you know, they were plotting on me, this and the other. And that same night is when her and her husband were at our house. Chris had went off and went to bed. It was me, her, and another one of my friends. And we were having conversation about just everything and just putting everything out on the table. And she never once said like, oh yeah, I'm inviting this person around. Like it was never any of that. So I just felt like it was just a lot of little shady stuff going on. And when you've been in this industry for long enough, you try to do your best to protect yourself. So it's like, I was looking at her like, I see what you're doing. It's like, I did an interview one time and I said, it's like back in the day when you're at church and you're making noise when you're a kid and the older usher comes over and pinches you and nobody sees that she just pinched the crap out of you, but you're yelling because you're hurt. And then everybody looks at you like you're the one making all of the noise in the church. So that's what Candace does. She pinches. She does little sneaky stuff. And then when you call her out on it, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe that that you said that did this to me. And then the whole act starts. I can't with the I can't.
Because, from my perspective, what I saw was Candace purposely pursuing a friendship with Charisse, knowing you and Charisse were enemies or not on good terms. And Charisse, was spreading the lies all around Potomac about the paternity of your son. As you stated on the reunion, she was doing snake stuff behind your back. You felt betrayed. She's not acknowledging or owning up to her part of it. So, I think all of those contributed to the fight as well.
It was a lot of things that boiled over and contributed to the fight. But I would say to the end of time, what really took me from that laughing moment to that hold up was that, ooh.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
There
was a lot of other things going on that definitely, it was like 36 years of buildup just unleashed all at one time on a person that didn't warrant 36 years of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But she put herself in that situation. At some point, she needs to take accountability for her role in it.
There should be accountability on both sides.
Absolutely. So during part 2, Andy rehashed the fight blow by blow. We all saw the footage of Gisele initiating the fight by pushing you. That, in my opinion, was not a push to stop you. It was a push to push you back. In the heat of the moment, you're not realizing whose hands are where. All your mental is thinking is, I've been pushed. Then Candace's hand reached under your chin after you want her to keep her hands out of your face.
Yep.
Andy denied your version of events, and so did Gisele and Robin and Candace. But production rolled the footage, and it showed exactly your version of events. How did you feel sitting home watching that?
I was shocked, honestly, because for over a year, I've been told over and over again, that didn't happen by everybody. And it wasn't until when I was in therapy after the fight happened, my therapist said, listen, let's just take into account what you believe happened and let's go play by play by play. When I tell you I've been through this fight so many times with my therapist, with my family, play by play by play. My story has remained the same every single time. And then 2 months later, my attorney gets the footage that he subpoenaed. And I was in Cozumel, Mexico on a beach. And that's when the footage came through. And I watched it. And I couldn't believe that everything that I had recalled, even that my therapist had wrote down and took notes and we went through every action, everything that I recalled is what happened. And I was still being told that it didn't happen. These people could have driven me crazy because I'm like, wait, now I'm second guessing myself. And I'm just like, but I know me. And I know that I'm not a person that's just going to jump on somebody and attack somebody. So something had to happen. I'm trying to break it down. So when I finally got the footage, and this was December last year, I was just like, wow. So I felt as though maybe they just wanted me to play into the narrative that they wanted to show. And when I kept saying, nope, this is what I remember, this is what I believe, then I guess by the time the reunion rolled around, they were just like, all right, go ahead and get to it.
That's unfortunate. But many fans called out Andy Cohen. They said that it seemed that he was going out of his way to discredit you and gaslight you. As a matter of fact, he even said, quote unquote, you're very matter of fact and dry about this whole thing. Then he asked, are you not upset? How upset does he expect you to be? In my opinion, that fight happened 1,000,000 years ago. You've processed it.
Yeah, they missed it. They missed my process. They caught some of it with the counseling sessions, but to say that I'm dry and that I'm not upset, you have not seen what process I went through. It was rough. It was rough. It's rough to have to look at yourself and realize that there's some criticism here. You're at fault in some places here. and you need to own up and you need to realize it and you need to do better. It is not easy to have to explain to my children that their mommy was fighting on national TV, because I have to tell them, because at some point they're going to see it or hear about it. You know, it's not an easy thing when I have a husband who's always had a squeaky clean image, and he's just like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like, so it was very difficult. It was not an easy process. And to add more fuel to the fire, to be blamed as if I would benefit somehow to go out and seek bloggers and people who would write about it and to tell them a narrative so they can be on my quote unquote side. I was like, wait, I don't even want to relive this when it airs. Why would I want to relive it now? Why would I want to live it now on social media and people are finding out about it? It was just crazy. There was another person that actually reported the fight first on Twitter. So the person who they kept saying leaked all the details of the fight, he wasn't the first person. So, wow. But nobody's talking about that. Everybody just wanted to put it all on me. It was like, let's just beat her down another 10 feet and just blame her for everything. And then to also say that people's responses to her on social media were because of me, when she is nasty on social media. She treats fans horribly, wishes death on them, tells them to go to hell, talks about their kids. She says all kinds of nasty stuff. So to think that that is all my fault and you just totally remove yourself from the fact that you have distributed nastiness, and maybe that's the reason why people are going in on you.
Right.
I just was like, why am I getting the blame for everything?
That didn't make any sense to me either, as well as a lot of people, because before we even saw the fight, we knew about it. The rumor was going around social media. People were reacting solely based on Candace's prior social media behavior. That's all we had.
Right.
So she received a lot of hate based on her prior social media behavior, not necessarily because, she was quote unquote the victim or wasn't the victim or was the aggressor. We didn't care about any of that. It was just all based on her mother hitting her upside the head with the pocketbook and her social media behavior, I want to touch on the fire.
Monica, can I clarify something real quick? Because I get this DM weekly. I just want to clarify now that Monique is here. Monique, you haven't paid any of us, right? We are speaking of our own volition. Okay, let's clarify that. I get this weekly message. Oh, Monique just followed you. She must be paying you. I'm like, girl, she just liked me. Are you jealous?
Right, exactly.
It's crazy. And I get that complaint so much from literally from fans who have their personal accounts, to bloggers, to big time bloggers, to video YouTuber bloggers, all of them. And they all will message me and say, well, run me my check then. I'm like, listen, they are giving me way too much credit. Like, I appreciate the support, but don't say I paid for it. Come on.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, a lot of people don't realize, like, I've been blogging for 8 years. I hear that all the time. Whenever a new show pops up, they're paying you. So I'm desensitized to it. I don't pay it much attention. I want to touch on the fire pit, Monique, that didn't happen.
Oh, yes.
It bothered you because you had a team building activity planned. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And had the fire pit therapy happened where you discuss your issues, you write them down on a piece of paper, you burn them, maybe the fight wouldn't have happened.
Absolutely. I actually tried to talk to Candace while we were at my lake house. And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I'll just say that discussion did not, some people did not think that discussion was necessary. And they pulled the cameras and the person who I wanted to speak with right in the midst of our conversation. And that was like the first time that we were like sitting down and actually like trying to have a conversation about it in a decent way. And it was just like, we don't have time for this. We need to go do whatever. And I was just like, wow, okay. And that was before the fire pit incident. But that fire pit incident was definitely me just like over the top, because I worked so hard to get that house ready and to plan these different events. And they got the nerve to be complaining sitting around talking about what we doing next and all these other things. So I'm trying to make sure I have a nice trunk type schedule so that they don't get bored and make sure they're having a good time. And we sat out there for over an hour. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, why are we still sitting out here? Let's just scratch it and go to bed if that's the case. But I'm just like, just don't waste my time, especially because what I wanted to do, I was calling it a let it burn session. I really wanted us to connect and to be a little bit open and vulnerable and maybe get down to some of the bottom, the bottom behind truth, down to the bottom of some things. But it never happened. And it just turned into me complaining. And we sat out there for maybe all of 2 minutes. And then everybody went inside and did their own thing and went to bed.
Wow. You know, I can attest to that with producers being shady. Before the season started, a producer, an RHOP producer, emailed me and requested that I remove all sentences from my blogs. I had about 4 or 5 blogs out at that time regarding the fight that stated Candace started the fight. I have the emails to prove it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was not able to discuss anything dealing with the fight. I had to remain quiet because from what I was told, when you're filming a season, you're not supposed to talk about what happens. So I had to remain quiet. But then I see this whole social media and this whole media tour of, Candace with her attorney. Literally every major outlet covered it. And it was like Monique Samuels charged with assault. Do you even know how I found out that she filed the complaint? That's the story. So tell it to you.
Wow.
So basically, my attorney has been talking to her attorney, and he kept requesting mediation. He said, listen, these 2 young ladies can sit down, let them talk about it with us present, since legal is now involved, and let them just talk about it. I'm sure they could work this out. Her attorney kept saying to my attorney, we're going to sue her for millions. Bravo's going to capture it all. They wanted money. They kept turning down mediation time and time again. And then all of a sudden, everything just went quiet. And I get a phone call from a reporter as I'm leaving out the door with my kids. And then a text message that says, do you want to make a statement about these charges? And I'm like, what charges? What are you talking about? There's not been any charges. And he's like, oh yeah, there are, and sends me a link. And me and my attorney had no idea that they filed because the last we checked, we were trying to mediate. So that apology that she had waited a whole year to get, I was willing to give her way back then. But they did not want to mediate. They wanted money. So what do you think that's going to do to me? Put a sour taste in my mouth. Now I'm like, whoa, you're trying to really monopolize off this situation. Like, I am not about to pay you for anything. And then to me, to then go and file file a complaint because you can't get money. I'm like, wow. So what am I really dealing with? So now when people ask like, oh, why didn't you feel this way or that way? I went from one state of thinking to the next. And then I'm dealing with a person who I also thought was friendly. And this person not only wants to take money from me, but she wants to see me in jail. And she's not accepting her role into the altercation escalating as well, And I've said from the beginning, I should never have touched her hair. I said from the beginning, but I did give her a warning to get her hand out my face. And she proceeded by saying, what you gonna do? You're gonna drag me. So the way the court looks at that is if she had put her hand in my face and then I gave her the warning, I said, you need to back up, get your hand in my face. And then she backed up and then I come around the table and then I start hitting her. That is an attack. That would have definitely been, okay, Monique, you out of here, orange jumpsuit and all. But that's not what happened. I asked you to back up and then you proceeded to challenge me further. So that's why it was thrown out. They're like, no, this is both sides because she could have walked away and she chose to keep pursuing knowing that things were getting heated. So it wasn't a matter of like what she said on the show. Oh, well, they thought, because it's reality TV and they threw it all out. No, that had nothing to do with it. Reality TV does not supersede the court of law. So
absolutely. Speaking, well, before I even get to that, there was a rumor that was circulated that Candace never filed a police report against you. Can you debunk that rumor?
There was no police report. She filed a charge. That was it. No police
Okay.
were called or anything like that.
So she filed a charge. She went down to
A complaint.
She filed a complaint. Okay. And then you filed a counter complaint.
Yes.
Okay.
So in the state of Maryland, well, in Maryland, in this particular county, Montgomery County, anybody can walk in and say this person assaulted me and I'm pressing charges or whatever. I'm filing a complaint. In Montgomery County, they automatically call it an assault charge. They don't even allow you to respond. You know what I'm saying? It's different in different counties, in different states. So that's why it went from like file a complaint to she's been charged with second-degree assault. When you don't actually get the charge, it has to go through the state attorney. You have to sit down with them, and she had to do the same. So yeah, but there was never police call. Nobody was ever arrested. Nothing like that. It was just straight up filed a complaint, and that was that.
A lot of people did searches online for Candace's complaint. We found your complaint, your counter complaint, but we couldn't find Candace's complaint. So that's why a lot of people were saying that, you know, maybe she didn't, I guess the rumor started that she didn't file a complaint against you, but she actually did. And then you responded to that complaint.
Oh, absolutely. I had no desire to see her in jail or press charges, even though I had a dang on wound inside my mouth for like weeks. You know, I still was just like, whatever, I'll let it roll and just keep moving forward.
Okay. Let's move on to part 3 of this dramatic reunion. To me, it seemed as though Andy allowed Candace to promote her victimhood, not own up to her part in the drama, even though you gave Candace an apology that she wanted. You finally gave it to her. What were your thoughts on that? Part 3.
Honestly, in the moment, I was so laser focused on my mission with my binder. I mean, looking back at it now, watching some of the things that were said and how I was like literally under fire, and y'all are only seeing a small portion. I mean, we filmed for 11 hours. I feel like the heat was on me for a good 5-6 hours.
Wow.
It was a lot. And I sat there and did not break a sweat. And actually, production and the network complimented how I was like, I handled it. You know, I didn't break a sweat. I was like, I'm coming with truth. There's no reason for me to be nervous or break a sweat if I'm telling the truth. So is what it is. But I don't know. I don't even remember what your question was.
The victimhood. You know, it seemed like Andy gave Candace the chair to sit there and play victim, you know, and you apologized. And it was just the crocodile tears running off the stage and all this other theatrics.
Right. I think the only thing that makes sense to me is because of the current climate that we're in, when it comes to the whole BLM movement, I think that the network tried to do their best to make it seem as if they were not trying to just brush this fight off like it meant nothing, because there are 2 Black women and one felt very emotional about it, and they wanted to be able to make sure she expressed that freely in her emotions and her voice was heard. So I think because of the current climate, maybe they, you know, they were trying a little bit too hard. So I will give them that credit. But at the same time, it was just like beating a dead horse. And it's like at a certain point, you got to realize that there's a lot of theatrics involved right here. I mean, how do you at one point talk trash from across the room repeatedly? And then the next minute, now you're distraught and traumatized. It makes no sense.
No sense at all. So the husbands joined the stage, and your husband, Chris Samuels, immediately wanted to address the plot against his family. He asked all the ladies point blank. He asked Robin, Candace, and Gisele. Robin and Candace denied they had any parts in this plot. They're like, plot? What plot? Everybody's looking around at each other. And then Gisele starts cussing. The last lady starts cussing. I was shocked by that.
It was a lot more to it, too. I'm talking about a full-out meltdown and the explosion.
Can you elaborate on that? Let us know. Let us know what the explosion. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, my husband asked a simple question. You know, have you ever talked about my baby on camera? Candace said no. Robin, have you ever talked about my baby on camera? She said no. Gisele, have you ever talked about my baby on camera? F you! F out of here! F! I'm like, why couldn't you just answer the question? Because you know what you've been doing. Like, come on. And then for it, this is the thing that irritates me. When the men do come out, you expect to get truth from the men, and you expect them to just, you know, try to like ease the tension that's going on. And the thing that disappointed me about Candace and her husband is that they sat there and acted as if this whole plot was just made up. And we just wanted to bring this to TV. Like, no, if that was the case, we would have did it 2 seasons ago. Like, come on. So my husband has, look, he over here passing me his receipt. My husband over here, he was talking back and forth with Chris over text message. And my husband, you know, they talked over the phone. My husband was very upset. Like, your wife should have never mentioned my child's name in her live. There was no point for her to do that, this, that, and the other. So Chris Bassett texts this to my husband. Hey, I just wanted to say again, appreciated the phone call today. I talked with Candace, and for what it's worth, I know it's probably hard to believe after everything that's happened. She was defending Monique, saying that it wasn't right, and because Chase looks just like you, it will never fly. She wasn't trying to plot or use that for a part of a storyline, and didn't think the ladies should either.
Wow.
And he tries to say there never was a plot. The gaslighting that went on. I mean, they all must have teamed up and had a meeting and said, listen, if we keep saying that there was no plot, then maybe production won't show it and we'll just make the Samuels look crazy. And that's what they tried to do. And I don't appreciate it.
You need to publish those receipts because that's exactly what they were doing. It was very obvious what was going on to many of the fans. Social media had your back. Social media erupted and they called out Chris Bassett. They called out Andy. It was because we all saw the video of Candace, you know, saying that there was a plot. She said it.
And
now
she didn't have to do that. It was like, why did she even? I don't get it. I was on my own live, sitting out on my front porch looking for my bird. And I went live and I was telling the people, giving them an update about T'Challa. He still hadn't come back. And then people are asking me different questions. And my response was very casual, like, oh, please, them women been plotting on me since Andy's baby shower. I didn't go into detail, and there was no reason for her to go into detail. Nobody asked you to do that. But God says he will make your enemy your footstool, and he sure did, because through all of this process, the only thing that I can feel relieved about is the fact that I have been saying for a very long time that the hate is real. This is far beyond reality TV. This work environment is just becoming very, it's just too negative. And to be told over and over that, oh no, that's just show stuff. Oh no, nobody really hates you. No, nobody would really do that. And to have that happen at the cost of my child's name, I mean, it's just disgusting. But it also allowed me and my husband that exhale. Like, okay, at least people can see that we're not just overreacting and acting crazy. Like, there are things that are going on. And for the very person who's supposed to be my enemy to basically expose the rest of them, I just was like, this ain't nothing but God.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. God will make your enemies your, like you said, footstools. And he'll prepare a table in front of your enemies too, and anoint your head. And that's exactly what he did. He anointed you in front of your enemies. Gisele attempted to build a profile of Chris Samuels as an angry and abusive Black man with her words and the presence of her personal security on the stage. Then production played the video of Chris on IG, clearly upset, saying if he was Bruce Jenner, he would go after them. But they were reluctant to play the video, or did not play the video of Candace exposing the plot, which would explain why you guys were live and responding to Candace. Right?
We would have never went live had she not done it first. Our live was a response. And I actually said that at the beginning of the live when I did it with my husband. I'm like, it was a response to what she did. So
yeah. What I liked is how Chris pushed back on that profile. He apologized to all the women and essentially de-weaponized Gisele's angry black man agenda. Right. But like Chris said, he said, I play chess, not checkers. I loved it. I totally understood where he was coming from.
Can I just say this as well? After we went live, my husband was beating himself up. He was so embarrassed. Like, I can't believe I said that. We had been drinking some wine. So he was like really pumped up and he was upset. He's like, I should not have said that. He had Bruce Jenner name wrong. It's Caitlyn Jenner. So he was just like spewing because he was that mad. So the next day he actually reached out to everyone that's a part of the show. And then before he even could get to it, Juan called him and they talked about it. And basically he told Robin and Juan, he said, I apologize. I should have never said that. He said, I was speaking in terms of like, if I were a woman, what I would do. He said, but I would never in any way threaten a woman. I don't hit women. I don't put my hands on women. So he apologized for that. And he said, can you please tell Gisele I'm sorry as well? That's how decent my husband is. He sent an apology to a woman who he knows firsthand is literally plotting on our child. And then he called Chris. He talked to Chris. He apologized to Candace. Wow. He apologized to Ray and Karen Huger, even though they weren't even a part of it. And when he did end up seeing Charisse a few weeks ago, he apologized to her in Safeway, which is the whole, I don't know if anybody saw Pastor Holy Whore go live, but he tried to say my husband went off on somebody in Safeway. It wasn't that my husband went off. My husband actually saw Charisse in Safeway, and he apologized to her for the comments about being physical. And then he said to her, what you did to my wife is foul and it's jacked up. There was no raising of voices or anything like that. But of course, once you get Charisse and Gisele to put a spin on something, it's going to turn into anything that's ugly. So, yeah.
I think it's pretty sad that that apology where Chris called the women on the cast and apologized, that wasn't mentioned. Robin mentioned that Chris Bassett called her and apologized after, he got physical with Michael Darby at her party. But Gisele neglected to tell Pastor Holy Whore that Chris actually called her and apologized.
Robin told Robin to tell her. But yeah, and we talked about that at the reunion. And Chris said, did I call you? And did I apologize? And all of them said yes. And Gisele sat there looking like this, looking all unhappy and by herself. The only way she could have a man on stage with her, she paid for him. She got a man behind her. And then he didn't even come to her help when Chris did stand up and she felt as though Chris was standing and he shouldn't be. That security dude looked at her like, you go handle it with that neck from ankles.
That is too funny. Yeah, I don't think Chris was a good match for that security. I don't know what she was trying to prove with that. Chris topped off the reunion. For me, the highlight of the reunion was when he said, I release you, Gisele. Hurt people. Go get some help. I was applauding.
And you know what he also said? He said, before he said, go get help, he said, you have attacked Ashley's marriage. You have attacked Karen's marriage. You have attacked our marriage. You have attacked Charisse's marriage. He said, hurt people, get help. Wow. That's what he said. He gave her the whole rundown just in case she forgot.
Wow. And then we didn't see that. That was edited out. I would have loved to have seen that as well. And then he hugged you. I was just, in tears. It was a beautiful moment. I'm going to bring the panel back in. And panel, do we have questions for Monique?
Heck yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. What's up with Andy, Monique? What was up with Andy in the reunion, honey? Because he was
always had an okay relationship with Andy. He actually gave me very great advice when I was going through everything after the fight. So, like I said, I think that, people have a job to do. And I think he was doing what he felt as though he was supposed to do. And he did not want people to think that he was in any way, shape, or form letting me off the hook. And he had to go in, but I would have appreciated it if that same energy was pointed in the other directions of people who needed that same degree of treatment. But I've never had an issue with Andy. We text. He loves T'Challa. Like, I sent him a bunch of T'Challa swag. I got my holiday gift from him and texted him and thanked him for it. So we don't have any issue, so.
Well, I will say it. I've said it all season. The love that you and your husband have, that's called agape love. And to his point, hurt people do hurt people, because what you have, aside from the fabulousness and the beauty, is you have a real loving marriage. And the only time they somewhat bonded with you was the season when you guys went to France and you and Chris had a little rift before your birthday. And then all of a sudden they came to your rescue. But
right.
It's like that love that they want. So I want to know, maybe we can help them out a little bit, Monique. Tell them the secret to keeping a man and having a successful marriage. Let's help them out a little bit, Monique.
Yes. Well, the first thing to do is to find a man, or let the man find you, and not look for a dollar sign attached to the man and make that the only reason that you want him to be around. It cannot be all about what you can get from that man. What are you giving? You can walk in the door and have a beautiful face and a banging body, but what you selling after that? What's coming with it? What is your brain like? What do you think like?
Absolutely.
When you sit back and act like you're so beautiful and you're on this pedestal and people are supposed to bow down to you, that's a turnoff. And what will they do? They're going to hit it, quit it, and be on to the next one, which is what we see every year. Every year. So she needs to change. I'm talking directly to Gisele right now. She needs to change her mindset about how men are supposed to be for her, and she needs to bring something to the table.
Oh, thank you for that word. My God.
Amen.
Amir.
I love that. I mean, I am so into that. I have like so many things to ask you, but I wanted to ask you, wrapping up the last couple of seasons, what's the rose and the thorn? Kind of what's the high point and what's the low point for you? Aside from the fight, we know that's a low point, but aside from the fight.
Oh God, from just this season or all the seasons?
All the seasons. You can pick from anything, honey.
Okay, so the rose would definitely be, man, it's kind of like the same. When I came onto this platform, my desire was to show people that there are beautiful Black families out here who can do it and who love each other and don't have to have scandal and all kinds of craziness. We don't have to live by this stereotype that people think of when they see Black people in general. And then my thorn is that the fight, I kind of feel like I let myself down. I lost control. I feel like I played right into that stereotype. And then in essence, the whole show also played right into that stereotype, because it's not like we've not seen fights on these platforms before, but it's when these Black women start to acting like hood rats or ghetto that it becomes this issue, and they got to give disclaimers. We don't condone violence. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel as though that's my role in my thorn. And I just hope that in spite of everything, I hope that watching my process and hearing tidbits of what happened in my childhood, maybe that will help people to see things within themselves and make sure that they are not acting like 6-year-old, Monique, and they're present in the moment and understands what their triggers are. I never knew that I had a trigger. I kind of did, because when I met Candace, she kept doing all of this. And I even said it in my confessional. She keep talking with her hands and she might hit me. I might have to hit it back. I don't like hands in my face, but I never understood why until this year. So yeah.
Right.
Wow.
No, and thank you for making vulnerability not just about crying, because I think people associate vulnerability with lots of tears, but I love that you were stoic and still vulnerable. I think that was really beautiful to see. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate you recognizing that.
Richie.
I have so many questions.
I get you.
One that I will ask is this. Is there a moment from the reunion that you can slightly mention that was probably one of your favorite moments you didn't see?
Oh, yes. I use the binder quite a lot. And I wish they would have showed more of the binder moments. But yeah, I think, let me see, one of my favorite moments, I read Gisele for like 20 minutes. It was way worse than what y'all saw. It was so bad that the next day when I got home, I was sick to my stomach. I was like, dang, I didn't have to do all that for her. But I was like, you know what? She gave me all that energy. I just returned it. I just gave it right back to her. But yeah, I read her for complete filth, even to the point where Andy asked me, well, Monique, what if she's okay with Jamal running around and doing whatever on her? What if she's fine with that? And I said, well, if she is, then she done gave up on herself, and that's even more sad. Like, I mean, it was so bad, but it was definitely like, it was the highlight of my reunion because she deserved it. She's been coming for me since I've been on the show. So, and I've been nice. I've been very nice.
Correct.
So that's that.
It was the 4 houses, Monique. When you told her you have 4 houses,
Oh, yeah,
it was a wrap, Monique.
Oh my goodness. I just, I catch the shade and I return it. And in that moment, I knew what she was trying to do. And I'm like, you ain't doing it with me. I'm sorry. I've never pledged in a fraternity or a sorority or anything like that. I don't know what that life is like. And you're not about to hate me.
No, you ain't about to hate me.
No, ma'am.
Monique, are you going to send the binder to Watch What Happens Live? I've heard some rumors. Are you going to send it to Andy or are you going to keep it?
He's requested several times that he would love to have it in the Housewives Museum, so I'll definitely send it. I think I'm going to make a copy of it first.
Yes.
And then I'll send it his way.
Yeah, you definitely need to do an OnlyFans maybe and read a page a night.
That's a good idea, Monica.
Someone told me last night, they said instead of bedtime stories, called it binder time stories. I might just do that. I gotta talk to my attorney first and make sure I ain't gonna get in no trouble.
Always consult with the legal, honey. Yeah, smart man.
Exactly. Monique, my dear, my lovely sister Monique, you have so many amazing things going on right now. Your essential oil line, Mila Eve Essentials, has taken off and exploded. Your Not for Lazy Moms podcast is thebomb.com. Your video for drag queens just dropped last night, and that was fire. Can I play a snippet of your video?
Yeah.
That video is fire. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
I came to work. I came to slay. Countdown to the beat drops. 2 kids don't play. I came to work. Drag, slay. Work, hit the stage. Drag, queens,
I was born ready, but I'm never done. Try on 10 looks.
Well, that's all y'all gonna get.
Oh, man.
I know that video is fire. Listen, teacups, to see the rest of the video, you have to go over to Monique's Tea channel. And that's Tea with Monique. I need y'all all to subscribe. We have over 9,000 people on this live. I need y'all all to subscribe. And then you can watch the full video over there. Monique is dropping all kinds of gems and spilling tea. You don't want to miss it. Do that after this live is over. Monique.
Thank you.
Any parting words? Queen, I thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. It's been a long time coming. And first of all, I just want to say to the bloggers and the people who have their platforms who have been blackballed in some way or denied an interview because they've been in support of me. Thank you for still riding with me. I really appreciate that. And that's why it's so important for me on my personal pages to support the bloggers who are making us relevant. The fact that there's a stigma that having a relationship with people who are writing about you is a bad thing is crazy to me. The fact that they make it seem like if you're cool with bloggers, it's like the plague. Like, I don't talk to bloggers. What is that? Yeah. These are the people who are telling the story outside of what you see on the show. And they should be treated with respect. Their job is just as valuable as mine. So to all of those people, I thank you for your support. I thank you even for the criticism, because I hear you. I listen to everything that's being said, and it helps me to become a better person and for me to just move a little bit better in life in general. So I thank everybody for all of the positive comments, negative comments. I own all of it, and I just love everybody for it. And this journey has been truly amazing. For anyone that is getting into reality TV, I just encourage you, have a plan. Don't just go on reality TV and think you're going to get rich. It's not going to happen. You need to have something of substance that you're trying to bring to the table. And while you bring that, also make sure that you're helping people. Don't just do it for financial gain. Every season, switching up a business venture. No, be consistent. Not for Lazy Moms started when I started this show, even prior, actually. And it still exists and it's grown. Thanks to y'all and thanks to the consistency and for people just having faith in what I've been doing and looking outside of what they see on the show and seeing the true person that I am and what I stand for. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Queen. A lot of reality stars don't get that. Like you said, they look at bloggers and blogs as the plague. One thing I will say about you is that you have always embraced me personally with open arms. And you tell me a lot of stuff that I don't repeat. There's not everything I can go and everything's not a story. Everything's not a story. And I get that. And I just thank you so much for embracing me, being so kind, being so candid, and being a real person, being a real person and being genuine. I wish you nothing but success in your future ventures. You have your own fan club. Listen, girl. Okay, I'm reading all these comments. I don't know if you can see them, but everyone's wishing you well. Monique, wishing you and your family the best. You've made the right decision. Team Monique, hearts and hugs. People love you.
Thank y'all. Really Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. It has been quite a road. But I'm grateful, and I thank everybody for the support. I really do. Hashtag Team Monique. Now I see the comments. Thank y'all. I really appreciate the love. It's truly been overwhelming. I thought that there would be a lot of people upset with me. And I just had to get to the point where I said, you know what? I got to do what's best for me and my family. And I'll take the heat as I receive it. But it's been so much love and understanding. And I'm just so, so grateful. And just, I'm still going to be here. Team Monique, Not for Lazy Moms, Mila Eve Essentials, everything. So, yes.
Yeah. Y'all subscribe to her channel on YouTube and Instagram. I mean, she goes live very often, both places, to keep up with what Monique is doing and all of her latest ventures. Go to the Mila Essential Oils website, place an order. I mean, she is blowing up. That oil company, Monique, is the bomb. Congratulations on everything. We wish you nothing but the best. I'm going to bring the panel back on really quick so everyone can say bye.
Yay. Thank y'all so much. I have any more questions. I'm like, first of all, I love watching y'all. Y'all crack me up, and y'all's chemistry is so good. Like, it's amazing. Like, I really do enjoy watching. Me and my husband look forward to Mondays at 3:00. We really do. Yeah, and then we were even catching up on older episodes as we drove down. We drove from, Maryland all the way to Florida, and y'all entertained us for a good 11 hours.
Wow.
Yes. So,
that is so humbling. Wow.
Yes. I was laughing with, I think it was last week or the week before, when Amir, you thought somebody was calling you light skin, like it was. I died.
I was like, what is going on?
It was so cute.
Yeah,
oh God. I've said a lot of crazy stuff. Oh my God.
I'm light skinned. What? Wait a minute. I'm Persian.
You coming to the barbecue? You coming to the barbecue?
Yes.
And then I got so many messages of people being like, they're trying to think you're not invited to the cookout. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. That's too funny. You know who I was really looking forward to also seeing today? Ples.
Yeah. That is so nice. Shout out to Ples. She
I mean, when
hilarious.
she gets the breakdown, she be on it. Like, I love her. And then, no, there's a few times where she checked me, and I was like, she right. When she said, that man is trying his best to help you. You need to let him help. Don't be judging everything he does. And I was like, you right.
Wow, yes.
Facts. We love Ples.
We love Ples. Ples is the bomb. Shout out to Ples.
Yes.
Yes.
The love is just overpouring in the comment section. Guys, if you want to ask a question, just drop it in the chat and I might pull it up. I might pull it up.
Monique, I just want to
Monique,
say I'm
is
proud
T'Challa
of you.
close or did he fly away?
He's right here
Go
on
ahead,
top of my
Buffie,
light,
sorry.
sleeping. Let me see.
Oh.
He's
So I was like, I need to have good lighting.
He likes to sit on top of my ring light.
Hey, T'Challa! He made an appearance.
Look at you.
Hi.
Get closer. Give him a little side eye. Show him how you be posing. He's going through a little molt right now, so he's losing weight and gaining new ones. But say, I still look handsome.
Oh, he's
You
so
can do
cute.
T'Challa.
Hi there.
I gotta cop some of his merch.
He's like, I was just asleep. Yeah, he got his own store. His store is doing so good. Oh my god.
Oh
I'm
wow.
like, we're saving up for flight lessons, and he's paying for it himself, and I love it.
Oh wow.
Yes, he's gonna get outdoor flight lessons this summer, so that he can. He already knows his way home, y'all. So
Right.
it'll teach him command, like more advanced, like when he flies and he can do his laps and get his exercise, and then he can come back. And if he goes high up in a tree, he won't be so afraid that he'll get stuck. So that's what happens with birds. I think that's what happened with him when he flew away that day. I think he flew up so high that he didn't know how to come down. So, yeah.
Wow. Monique, so there's a question in the chat. Love and Hip Hop wants to know, would Monique entertain the idea of returning after season 6?
No.
Oh.
It's
No.
a wrap.
I'm done, y'all. Like, I mean, if you know what's crazy, I was fine with the trainer rumor because it never brought up my child. But then once that got out, I had been holding on to that for 2 years. And I was still able to put a smile on my face and do what I needed to do for the sake of the show. And there's no coming back from that. There's no, like, you crossed so many lines. And I was actually excited when I got my offer to come back. I was like, you know what, this would be good. I can like redeem myself and come back and, and try to do something bigger and better. But I honestly thought that there would be some apologies in the Samuels direction. I thought there would be some ownership, some accountability. And I'm not going to wait another season to see if it happens and then be disappointed all over again. And then other things happen and it just becomes so much like worse. So I'm done. And I'm just one of those people. Once I exit out of something, I'm moving on to something else. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Would you consider your own reality television show that's focused just on you and your family?
It's crazy. Years ago, when people would say that, I'd be like, oh no, I would never do that. My kids I don't want to put that kind of pressure on them. But now that they're a little older and we have other things going on outside of just in our household. My husband coaches football. I have my businesses and my kids are into their little activities and they're hilarious. And then I got T'Challa. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I went live with my sister on my Wind Down Wednesday last week, and it was hilarious. And just my family dynamic, that's one thing that people have not had the ability to witness is my family dynamic. We are crazy. Like we cut up. And we have such a good time when we get together, but we know how to love on each other and just like build each other up. And we know how to check each other if you need to be checked. So from that point of view, I could definitely see doing something like that and have Chris Mama make an appearance. Come down and read everybody for filth, call everybody heifers.
Yes, we need that, Monique. That's what we need.
Real family. Yes.
That would definitely be something that I would be open to if the situation was right. But it would have to be something that is uplifting. I'm not for no like scandalous family TV stuff. Like I would like it to be like a modern day Huxtable feel where we're showing true Black love and just, you know, we have our little drama, but it's not something that's going to destroy our family and our name, you know?
T.I. and Tiny does it. You can definitely do it.
Right.
Their show is drama free and it's great.
Yeah.
So Kimberly Blake wants to know, would you consider filing a hostile work environment lawsuit?
That is definitely not something that is on my mind. I just want to pack up my little bag and just be on out the way. I appreciate the network. I appreciate production and what they've done for my family, giving us the platform that they've given us. And it's not always easy, but at the same time, it's what I signed up for, you know, so I can't fault them for doing their job. I can't be upset with them for doing their job, but I can also know my limitations and when I need to walk away. But I'm grateful for what they've done for us. I really do appreciate it. And I apologize if the little check comment offended them.
Yeah.
And it did.
You said with a hand.
That little check. Play money. Monique, the bishop, shout out to the bishop. Hey, bishop. He wants to know, is Monique a student of the 48 Laws of Power?
I love the 48 Laws of Power, and I study it from the point of view of protecting myself. Making sure ain't nobody gonna manipulate me. But that it's an excellent read. I mean, I am a reader. I do love when I have the time, when my kids let me. I love reading. I love getting that good knowledge. I read all kind of stuff. There's this book that I've been reading called it's the book about melanin, and it talks about why melanin is important and why it should be studied and how it's just not about skin color. And I've been reading it to my kids. My kids will tell you all about a pineal gland right now because that's how deep that book is. And when we sunbathe, so everybody listening, you need to sunbathe. And when I say sunbathe, just go out, let that sun shine on your face, close your eyes, ground, be one with earth and with nature. And it does something to you, especially in this day and age where we're looking at so much blue light with these artificial lights and computer screens and phones. It destroys your pineal gland, which helps produce the melanin that your body needs. It is deep. So y'all need to. I'll send it to you. I'll send you a picture of the cover of it. But this book is dope. Everybody needs to read it.
Yeah. Oh, great. Wonderful. Definitely look into that. And I know you are, what is it called? An earther? What do you call that when you go out? Like you said, I've heard you mention that before. You said you go out,
grounding,
you walk barefoot in the grass and get one with nature, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm such a tree hugger.
Right.
Yes. You walk barefoot and you just ground yourself. Whenever there's a full moon, that's the best time to do a water fast because you know that the moon controls the tide and all of that. And your body is made up of so much water. Your brain's made up of 90% water. So imagine you doing a water cleanse while there's a full moon. It's going to be to a whole nother level. I'm all into that. It's not just essential oils with me, y'all. I love everything. It just gives you this peace. Yes, all good energy.
Do I see a book on the horizon? I mean,
I'm working on my next book. I got my potty training book out, but I'm working on a book called The Survival Bible. And it's just going to give you different ways to survive different points of life. Just random topics. It'll probably be a series because there's so much. But just giving survival tips for dealing with your mother-in-law. Or you know, dealing with your kids when they get on your nerves. Or with terrible friends who get out of your circle. Like, anything. Yeah.
That's amazing. I can't wait. So Kim Edwards wants to know, were you offended by Andy's comments about Chris's money?
No, I wasn't offended. I actually felt bad that he thought that stereotype was true about athletes. Because there's a lot of them. I mean, black, white, and every other color who have played professional ball and lost everything. And then there's some who have played and they did good with their money and they were able to invest and keep living the life that they want to live after. So, you know, I wasn't embarrassed by it at all. I'm like, I mean, has he watched the show?
Clearly not. Clearly he's not watching, you know. Andy's a big time executive. He's in his own world now. All right. So Sharonda wants to know, did Karen call
his
you?
own world on Grindr?
Sharonda wants to know, did Karen call you since you said you were not coming back?
My first conversations were with who did I talk to first? Nene, Porsha, Karen, Ashley, Bronwyn, Tamika from Southern Charm, New Orleans. I talked to a lot of my Bravo family, and they all were reaching out with their support, encouraging, well wishes, and everything. But I told Karen, I was like, "I'm sorry, babe, but you gotta hold it down." But she got it, and I did talk to Ashley as well. So she said she thought it was just people talking. She didn't believe it. But then I confirmed it, and she was like, wow. She's like, I get it. She was like, I just, we're both grateful for the sisterhood and the relationship we were able to create through this. And we both, all of us, look at it just, furthering and just becoming even more close. But I will not be doing any cameos. So they'll have to me if I miss certain events, because I'm good on that.
You're not doing it.
I'm not working for free.
Bravo messed up. They messed up. They should have treated you after part 1, and they saw that binder and everything you brought. You literally put moisturizer into a parched franchise. Really. And I'm not just talking about RHOP. I'm talking about housewives across the board. RHOP has been trending for the past 3 weeks.
It's insane. That's wild.
So Samira wants to know, would you ever consider making up with Candace since your husbands are good now?
Absolutely not. The thing that people got to understand about Candace is that something ain't right. Something ain't right. There's too much hostility. There's too much hate. There's some serious underlying issues there that need to be dealt with. And honestly, I feel like there needs to be a therapist for every cast member of any reality show. Because if you get to the point where you're a grown person being quote unquote bullied on social media, when you can simply just put the phone down, or if you're just like so caught up in a situation that you can't let it go, at a certain point, I start getting concerned, because I'm like, whoa, at first I thought it was acting, but now it seems a little bit more concerning and a little serious. And I was quite disappointed when she sent that message that she sent to Karen, which Karen pointed out the ending line, which was, I hope you burn in eternal hell. The disrespect, because I look at Karen as that's Chase. What's going on?
Oh, Casey.
Is he okay? Oh, he is throwing fits. He's probably like, where's my mommy?
I know.
But I was so hurt and offended when Karen read to me the entire message, to the point where I looked at my husband and said, if she comes after Karen, it might be round 2, because that's where I draw the line. Like, who comes at Karen like that? It was so disrespectful. I just could not believe it. I mean, to the point where I felt like I needed to protect Karen. It was disturbing, and that needs to be checked. And that's another reason why I asked to be removed from my contract last year. I said, if she can wave a knife in somebody's face and then hit me in my face with a glass, what happens the next time somebody else says something that she don't like? She gonna grab a bottle? Ain't gonna be me. So I was like, I don't feel comfortable being around her. Catch that.
It was more to that text message.
Oh, wow.
I'm hoping that Karen will just go on and release it on Twitter or something. It was wow. And it was a whole lot more, but that's her story to share. She'll share it, I'm sure. But it was not cool. It kind of broke my heart for Karen, because I know how much Karen loves her. Yeah. And how much Karen loves me. And I was just baffled. Like, wow. I've not even gotten a text message like that from her. So I was just like, wow, Wow.
Yeah. Like you said, there's some underlying issues there that she's not necessarily, functioning on the most logical of levels. And I don't want to go too deep into what could be or may be wrong with her. But JC, I'm switching things up. JC Gonzo has a question. How do you think season 6 will play out? And what about Wendy? What are your thoughts on Wendy? And will you review season 6 with All About the Tea panel?
Oh,
no
yes.
pressure.
I would love to. I would love to. But then
Absolutely.
that means I have to watch the show.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing.
I already missed 3 episodes of this season. So.
Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. What are your thoughts on Wendy and her 4 degrees? How do you think she'll fit in for season 6?
I think that Wendy needs to protect her and her husband and her family and her marriage at all costs because they are coming. They are coming. And my husband talked to her husband after the reunion, and he tried to give him as much advice as he could. But she is going to want to protect her family unit, because what I do see about Wendy outside of her degrees is that she loves her family and she's a great mom. So I would suggest that she tries her best to establish some boundaries, and she makes sure that she hits things head on. Don't let these confessional thugs go to their confessionals and be talking about you, because that's what they like to do. So I think Wendy will be just fine. Her first season is an introduction. So sometimes when production gets a kick out of what you have going on, of course you're going to mention it 1,000 times. Everybody knows good and well how many degrees Wendy has from each college she got them from, how long it took her to get them, and what she does with each of them. And now it's going to be her hardest season. The second season is not easy because now you're required to really dig deep into yourself, because it's not just an introductory season anymore. So now she has to really open up and share some things so that people, can be entertained. It's like any relationship. Once you see the outer appearance, you're like, okay, that's nice. I done cracked that open, did whatever with that. But what else do you have? And are we going to continue this relationship, or are you going to be a hittable quittable?
Yeah, exactly. That part. That part. Kim Edwards wants to know, what if Bravo did a Things You Didn't See episode and showed the real? Would you then consider returning, since the lack of that in episode 3 was your last straw?
Oh, Kim, come with a good question.
Oh,
Kim.
man.
Child, that's a Bravo executive.
Even if they did do something like that, there was still no accountability. There was still no, you know what, Monique, what we did was low down. What we did was jacked up. We crossed the line. We apologize. Let's move forward. So even if they did reveal all of those things, it still puts me in a position where I have to interact with people who really don't care about me. And they don't care to own up for their faults when they literally pushed me to own up to mine when I was technically owning up from the beginning. So it's like the double standard is just insane.
Yeah, I agree with you. Maxine, how Candace always speaks of how folks are raised, yet Monique shows growth and Candace continues to show spoiled brat. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, none of the women really even know about how I was raised. They never asked. They never asked. Nobody ever asked, how did you grow up? I mean, we literally, my family and I, we started from the bottom and we ended up doing quite well. We had a 4-bedroom house in Pleasantville, New Jersey. My dad had 3 tractor trailer trucks, pulling in over $100,000 a year for each truck. Like, we were doing well growing up. But the difference between Candace and I is that when I was 19 and I left college, my parents also said, give me that purse, give me that wallet. You leaving college, you go figure out life on your own. And that's what I chose to do. And I did that. And I went through bumps in the road on my way, but I was able to learn and mature and grow without my parents' purse strings supporting me. So that's the difference between the two of us. I may not have grew up in a country club, but I grew up in a house and it was paid for and it was ours. And I had a great school system, and and we had a great life growing up. I mean, my household, I had a 2-parent household. Everything wasn't always perfect, but my parents did the best that they could, and they were able to instill some great values in me and my siblings, which I still carry on to this day. So she has a lot of growing to do. She's not the youngest on the show. Ashley's actually the youngest. you know.
Really?
Realize youngest.
You couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Ashley acts real grown and Candace doesn't. That's interesting. So Zeke 422 says, Team Monique first and foremost, right? Monique, why should we still watch Potomac after you're gone? If they give Kim Tardy for the Party a show, we need drag queens, the show.
Well, I feel as though when you have these housewife shows, you become connected to whomever on these shows. And that's the reason why you have 6 or 7 different women. So if someone asks, why should we still watch? Because there's still 6, 7 other women that's going to be on the show. And you may fall in love with them. Maybe they're going to show you some growth that you hadn't seen this season, next season. Maybe there's going to be a new housewife and new friendships are going to forge, or there's going to be friendship shakeups. So there's still a lot of good TV left in Potomac for sure. You just won't have this resident.
Understood. Candace wants to know, Monique, have you and Porsha ever considered doing a podcast together? Ooh.
Yes.
Fire.
Yes. Actually, when I did my live shows last year, Porsha was actually the guest that I was supposed to have, but they were still filming Atlanta. So yeah, so I reached out to Porsha and Candy, and they were both down to do it, but the schedule just didn't work out for us to do it. But now Porsha has her own podcast. I still have Not for Lazy Moms, so we definitely have to do a little crossover situation. I can definitely see that in the near future. I love Porsha. I talk to Porsha often. That's my sister. She is the best. She's such a queen. And what I love about her is that she has been through all of this, and she was able to endure a lot more and still be where she is today. And I mean, she is shining, and I love her. I admire her. And I told her last night, I said, girl, I ain't got the strength that you have to keep going. And she said, but you do. I'm like, I'm out.
Well, she also wasn't dealing with a 10-year-old. You know, she did have grown ladies that she was dealing with and not a 10-year-old.
True. I only deal with temper tantrums from my own kids.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Good point, Monique. It's Sunny Moon. If the women owned up to their part and apologized, would you return? As you can see, we don't want you to stay gone. I agree.
I appreciate that. But no, and the reason why is because there is so much more in play outside of just the women. I mean, just even looking at the fact that I was told the wrong hotel for reunion. I mean, like stuff like that. And there's a lot of other things that I didn't really appreciate how things were being handled as it pertained to me. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm not going to, dog out the network or production. Like I said, I appreciate everything that they've done. And hopefully they can look at this situation and grow from it themselves and realize that, even though we're small in number when it comes to the Black women that are a part of the franchise, we deserve the same or more, as everybody else. So hopefully they can look at the situation with me. They can look at the situation with Nene and don't turn a blind eye to it. Really take from it and say, okay, what can we do different the next time for the next housewife that comes in and, make the situation even cozier, so.
Well said. Lindsay says, do you think Robin is an asset to the show? Do you think Gisele will ever be demoted or held accountable for her actions?
I think if Gisele were to be held accountable for her actions, we would have saw that at the reunion. That's number one. Number two, I think that Robin is Gisele's asset.
Oh.
I think that the two of them, I'm just being real, like the two of them together is what they have. And that's why I laughed when they separated them at reunion, because it almost felt to me like they were trying to see what they could do on their own, being away from each other. So that might be a shakeup that we don't know it's coming. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Monique, I know you've been here quite some time, and you probably have a ton of things to do with the kids and the birds and everything running around.
Okay, with Monica.
What's going on? Now, does the panel have any closing remarks for Monique?
Proud of you. Gold standard, class acts. This is the way to show the youth. This is what you're supposed to do. Love, 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 Chris. That's how you have your wife's back. And okay, T'Challa.
So you ain't giving me no compliments. I'm out of here.
T'Challa, you look great, T'Challa. Good season, T'Challa.
He's such a shady bird. Oh my God. Oh my God. So
but yeah, we just love you, and I respect your decision and appreciate you for coming on today.
Thank you. And I had Buffie on for my Generational Wealth Finance 101 series on my podcast, and that's going to air January 5th on the Not For Lazy Moms YouTube channel. Yes, and it is such a good episode. People are going to really learn some things about their money, and we're going to have you back again.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I can't wait. Can't wait. Yes. Amir, parting words for Monique?
I have all the love for you. I think you're wonderful. I just want to be shady for a second because that's just my shit. So with T'Challa and Wendy, did you whisper in T'Challa's ear to take Wendy down with the wig snatching? Come on, tell us the truth.
I told him, I said, look, you a newbie, she a newbie. Who gonna win? Like,
I love it, Monique. From one angry bird to the next. Go get her. Go get her. Mm-hmm. Monique Kelly, our dating expert. Yeah. Do you have any closing remarks for Monique Samuels?
I'm still devastated to see you go because I'm selfish and I just love watching you guys, but I understand. But I just want to thank you as a dating expert. Watching you with your husband shows that what we want, what we desire, what we deserve is feasible. And I loved watching every moment of it. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Even to get that feedback, because me and my husband are sometimes a little cray-cray, and he's off the chain. Like, he's a whole hot mess, and he gets on my nerves, but that's what I love about him. He's crazy. Mm-hmm. So, yes.
Love it. Richie, closing remarks for Ms. Samuels?
Album or EP?
EP. I ain't got time for album. Unless it's gonna have my kids on it the whole time, because they won't let me think for a second. I had to go to the studio to finish writing the song. They don't. It's like as soon as I put the pen to a paper, mommy, I'm like, oh my God.
Oh. Okay, Monique. I just love you, sister.
Thank you. I love you.
You know that.
Y'all are amazing. Like, it's people like y'all that keep it going and really make it worth it. Honestly. So never know what the future holds, but I'll still live in Potomac. I just won't be on Potomac.
Right. May God has been blessing you. May he continue to bless you. You have a beautiful family. Protect that family at all costs. I don't blame you. I'm selfish too. I don't want you to go. But you're really not going because we're all connected through this social media world, right?
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Call me anytime. I'll pop in whenever you want.
Oh, we'll hold you to that, girl.
Right. My word, because I'm fair, hun.
Yeah, child.
Yes.
Go ahead, drag queens. Just play. Teacups, thank y'all so much for being on good behavior today. I saw a lot of, they can get out of hand. I saw a lot of positive comments, a lot of hearts and hugs and encouraging words to Monique. Thank you, sister. May you have a beautiful day and go ahead and tend to them kids and that bird. Tell Chris we said hi.
I will. Thank y'all so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Y'all take care. Peace and blessings. And see y'all in 2021.
Happy New Year.
Yes, honey. Happy New Year.
Bye. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was the best surprise ever, Monica.
You did that, Monica.
I kept a secret, right? Nobody knew.
You didn't say anything. I was
Yes, I was
last night.
texting with you. No.
Yeah, no one knew. Not even the people in my house knew.
Wow.
Not even the people in the house. Panelists, thank y'all so much. I mean, listen, I'm nothing without you guys, and you know how I feel about you, and I love you. Did you have a good Christmas? How was your Christmas, Buffy?
Oh, it was great when I got all this stuff from you.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
Oh, yes, I did. And then I went to sleep, and because I was, I had a few beverages.
The phone rang maybe a millisecond. She's like, hello. I was like, Buffy. She's like, girl, I'm over here having a good old time. What you up to? I said, what you drinking on? What you sipping on, Buffy?
I was fighting with my auntie. It was good, honey. Everybody was just watching the fight.
I saw that on your video with the phone.
You're gonna turn on some extra music in my house, girl. Sit down.
I love your family, by the way, Buffy. Your mom is your twin. She looks just like you. Well, you look just like her.
She says that. Yeah, no, I birthed you.
And she's young looking too. I'm like, go ahead, mama. Mama young.
She got that young husband. My mom's husband is the same age as my husband. My stepfather.
Yeah, I didn't want to say nothing, but I was like, who is that?
82. Yeah, he's very cute. Yeah, they've been together like over 25 years. It's crazy.
Wow, they look amazing. They keep each other young. Amir, how was your Christmas?
It was good. I did a drive-through Christmas extravaganza because there's this really large church in Orange County. It was wonderful. Can't complain.
That's nice. That's lovely. It was peaceful. Richie, how was yours?
It was awesome. Me and Bay stayed here, opened up gifts, and watched movies all day.
Sounds like my kind of Christmas. Monique, and you and your Bay, how was Christmas?
Oh, it was wonderful. Normally I go back east to see my family and do it up big. So this was an adjustment, but it was so good being with my baby. I love that man. Yeah.
That's so nice. So nice.
And thank you for all the wine, girl. It was excellent.
I hope it's not finished.
Yeah, well, what can I say?
It's so funny. I love you. I love you. I love you all. My Christmas was nice too. I got it was quiet, couldn't travel, family couldn't come here, but we made the best of it. And I was surrounded by love, and it was peaceful. I didn't have to work, so that felt good.
Yes.
Just having a day off felt nice, really, really good. I got some Don Julio too, 1942.
Yeah.
I was like, somebody care about me. Thank you. Teacups, thank you all for supporting today and joining us, and all the wonderful questions to Monique. We're all sad to see her go. We don't want to see her go, but we can still support her. Make sure you go over to her Tea with Monique channel, subscribe, bang that notification bell so you can watch the full video, which is so dope.
It is.
It really is. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats. I appreciate them so much. Moderators, I know it was a tough day. Everyone kept DMing me, slow down the chat. I was like, I can't. I don't know what to do. Thank y'all for holding it down. I appreciate y'all so much. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. Be blessed. I love you all. Bye now.